Just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sally and this is my channel Secret Life of a Seamstress, where I love to talk all about sewing and making clothes. I hope you're all doing well and you're having a good day. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you how I'm going to be making a dress inspired by a really lovely high street dress that I've seen from Sezane. As you'll know if you watch my channel frequently, I absolutely love to make these kind of videos and I love to be inspired by the high street and see how I can recreate things in my own sewing life. So the dress I'm going to be making in this video is a button-down shirt dress. I've actually got a party to go to on Friday of this week and I'm really hoping that I'm going to get this dress done in time to wear for that party, so we will see how I get on. So let me share with you the dress that I have been ogling over. There are loads of this kind of dress around on the high street at the moment, but I've picked on this one from Sezane because I think it is so beautiful. This is what I've been heavily inspired to make this week for this party. So as you can see, it's a button-down shirt dress. It has the collar on a stand, it's got long sleeves, it's around midi length, and it has a nice tie belt as well. But what I really liked about this dress in particular is that it does have that nod to utility style that seems to be so popular at the moment. I think utility is going to be really big for spring and summer. So it does have a couple of patch pockets on the bodice of the dress as well. So patterns that I'm going to be using to recreate this look are, of course, you can probably guess already, my most favourite shirt dress of them all, which is the Tilly and the Buttons Lyra shirt dress. I do have another shirt dress pattern, which is the Tildy shirt dress by Atelier Dupe, and I've made that once. I'm not quite as keen on the fit of that one as I am with the Lyra, so I decided to go with the Lyra. So I'm going to be using this as a base for my shirt dress, but I will need to make a couple of changes to it, obviously, to make it more in line with my inspiration image. So let me explain the changes that I need to make then. So to make the Lyra dress fully buttoned down is quite easy to do, really. You just need to make a couple of changes. So normally with the Lyra skirt of the dress, you would cut a front and a back pattern piece, a skirt piece, on the fold. But instead of cutting the front piece on the fold, what you need to do instead is just cut two separate pieces, because obviously you're going to have it open at the front and your button band is going to come right down. So all I've done to change my pattern pieces is use the exact same pattern piece, which would normally be cut on the fold, and I've cut it on a single layer so that I get two pattern pieces. So the only thing you need to remember when you are doing this is just that you add on a seam allowance, because you will be attaching the bottom of your skirt to a button band. The other change, of course, that you need to make is to lengthen your button band pattern piece right down to the bottom of your skirt. Obviously, normally with the Lyra pattern pieces, you have an additional button band which is sewn on separately, and that just comes to the end of your bodice piece. Because we're going to be making our dress fully buttoned down today, I need to extend that button band piece right down to the bottom of my skirt. In terms of pockets, I did consider drafting my own patch pockets to put on the front, and then I remembered that I actually had what I'm hoping is going to be the perfect patch pocket piece, which is from a pattern that I've had for a while. It's just a new look pair of cargo trousers which I made last summer, and it has quite a lot of sort of cargo style pocket pieces included. So I decided to just steal one of those pocket pieces, and I'm going to use this for the two sort of patch pockets on the front of the bodice. So the fabric that I'm going to be using to make my dress, and I hope you'll excuse me just showing you the remnants because I have already cut everything out, but I don't want to disturb my pile here behind me because everything is in order. So this is a really light, really floaty viscose fabric, which I picked up from the Knitting and Stitching show back in October. I love this print. I think it's got some lovely colours in it. It's got mustards and rust, navy, and I've had this in my stash for quite a while. In fact, you've probably seen it sitting behind me when I've been filming my sit down videos. I tend to have it on show because it's so pretty. So the time has come now to cut into that and actually make something from it. So I'm all cut out and ready to go. I'm going to get sewing this afternoon. I will have to break this up over a few days in the week, I think. I'm not going to obviously get it done in one day. It's already midday now. But yeah, I will take you along with me and just talk you through the changes that I make to the pattern and how it's going and everything. And yeah, we'll see how we get on. After a quick walk out with the dog, it was time to get sewing. So I started with some preparation. I stay stitched the necklines of both the bodice pieces, front and back, and I stay stitched the collar stand as well. I also prepped my patch pockets too and top stitched the fold. At the moment, I'm not quite sure when to attach my patch pockets, whether to do it now before I do anything else or do it a bit later on. So I'm going to get them all prepped and then decide.
What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer.
So I've taken a bit of a gamble and I have attached my patch pockets onto my bodice pieces already. So it's quite difficult to know where to place the pockets. This was my concern really, because obviously I have a button band to attach on the side, and also just wanted to make sure that the pockets were placed in the right place on the bodice. So what I did was actually put the bodice pieces up against me and just lightly place the pocket where I thought it should go. And then I just measured 3 centimeters from the button band edge, which will give me 1.5 centimeters for the seam allowance for the button band, and also another 1.5 centimeters space from the button band, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's done. It's a bit of a gamble. I might need to move them later. I'm really hoping that I won't need to move them, because this viscose is very light and I don't think it's going to take very kindly to a lot of unpicking. So we'll see how that goes. So here is where I need to deviate from the pattern instructions slightly so that I can do a fully sort of button down dress. So in the pattern instructions, what you would normally do next is sew the shoulder seams and then put the button band on the collar in. So what I'm going to have to do, because I'm doing a full length button band, is to sew together the bodice, the shoulder seams and the side seams, and then also put my skirt pieces together at the side seams as well, and then join the bodice to the skirt before I put on the collar or the sleeves or anything like that, because I then need to attach my button band before I do the collar. So you just need to sort of go backwards and just think about how your pieces are going to fit together and all of that. So next I'm going to do my shoulder seams and my side seams of the bodice, and then I'm going to sew together the side seams of the skirt, and then I'll have to think about attaching the skirt to the bodice. I've just already said that and repeated myself, sorry.
You know, sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the lower, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark, and maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand. Up to my knees. Keep losing sleep, I'm manic dream at midnight. So hard to please. Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Hard to keep the heat when it gets colder. You know, sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker. Even when
everyone, it's the next day now. So yesterday, as you saw, I got the button band in, but yeah, I wasn't really feeling that great yesterday, so that's all I did. This week has been a bit of a week. I'm really struggling at the moment with sleeping. I don't know if calling it insomnia is a bit dramatic, but I think over the last 10 days, I've had about 6 days where I just haven't slept at all, hardly, like 2-3 hours maybe max a night. And I think it's just kind of catching up with me now. I've always struggled a little bit with sleep ever since I can remember, really. Not to a bad extent, but it's always been something that now and again I'll just have these phases where I can't sleep. And yeah, it's just really annoying. So I think this week it's just kind of caught up with me. And I did say at the beginning of the video that I had a bit of a cold, but I think I did feel like I had a cold, but I think it was more that I was just really tired, because now I don't feel coldy really. I just feel tired. So I think I'm just going to try and sort of take it easy as far as I could. Yesterday I just didn't really do much at all. I just got that button band done and then just sort of did what I needed to do in the day and just kind of tried to rest a little bit. And last night I did actually have a good night's sleep. So yeah, if you suffer like that with sleep as well, then do let me know any hints and tips. So yeah, it's a new day today and I am feeling a bit better since I've had a good sleep. So I'm really hoping for some good progress on this dress today. It's Thursday now, so I really need to get this dress mostly done because tomorrow I've got quite a busy day doing other things and then the actual party is tomorrow. So it'd be nice to get it finished. So what I'm starting on this morning is the collar. And I'm also writing a blog for the pattern pages on how to put a collar in. So while I'm putting the collar in, I'm actually going to be taking photos of what I'm doing as well. So that will slow me down a little bit. So yeah, that's today's plans. I have the house to myself. It is pouring with rain outside. So it feels like a good day to have some nice cozy sewing time. I have a nice cozy outfit on. I'm sure we're all like this really, but I definitely feel as though my mood and how I'm feeling in myself influences the way that I dress because I've been feeling a bit rough this week and a bit tired. All I've wanted to wear is like leggings and hoodies like this and just cozy clothing. So that's what I've been doing. Anyway, let's get sewing. Right, so the collar is in, if I can find it. And thank goodness, because that was a little bit more stressful than I was anticipating it to be. So when I came to put the collar together, I realised that some of the pieces of the collar, I'll show you. I have to go and retrieve that out of the bin pile. So yeah, when I came to put together my collar, I realised that the interface pieces of the collar and the stand had not quite been cut properly. So can you see here? It doesn't quite come to the end of the curve, which is really annoying. So when I was cutting it on the fold, I tend to block fuse when I'm doing collar interfacings just so that it gets everything more even. And I think I must have just not noticed that the bottom of the fabric didn't quite meet up to the end of the pattern. So I needed to recut both of those pieces and I was short on fabric anyway. I was down to literally like the scraps of my fabric. So I had to open the fabric out and cut it flat. And then the collar piece went fine, like the main collar piece, but then the collar stand piece, when I came to cut it, it was really wobbly and it didn't match up at all with the other piece of my collar stand. So I needed to recut it again. And I had hardly any fabric and hardly any interfacing left. So I was really sort of getting a bit stressed thinking, oh my goodness, I have no fabric, have no interfacing, I'm not going to get this done. Thankfully, I managed to squeeze both pieces out of those fabric scraps. So yeah, that was annoying. It's the curse of having to write something up, I think. It always seems to happen when you're writing a blog post or you're filming or doing something like that, that things seem to go wrong. What I will say as well is that I'm not using the most easy to work with fabric when it comes to making a collar, because this viscose is so light. It's really kind of wobbly. So I think that was my problem as well. So I'm glad that's done. I've got my photos done for my blog as well. So when you come to read that blog on the Pattern Pages website, you can remember the peril that I went through to get that done. So I'm going to make a cup of tea now and recover and just get on with the sleeves now, I think. In a slight change of plan, I decided to do the buttonholes next instead, because that's what it said to do in the pattern, and I thought it would be nice to get those out of the way before the sleeves were on, because it would reduce the amount of weight there was to go through the buttonhole machine. So we are done. I thought I would just pop on the dress to show you it on at the end of the video. I'm really pleased with how this has turned out actually. I love the button down Lyra hack. I think it works so well as a fully button down dress, and I think it's just brought it a little bit more sort of up to date and more on trend. So I think there may be more button down Lyra's coming up for me in the summer, or maybe I'm just being enthusiastic because I'm so pleased with this one. I will pop in a couple of photos as well, just so that you can see the full dress on. The pockets are here in case you can't see them. I mean, let's be honest, these are a little bit pointless, aren't they? I think because the print of the fabric is so busy, you can't really see them. I did think about putting some buttons here just to make them a little bit more obvious, but I think because the viscose is so light, I think it's just going to pull down on the pockets. So I'm going to leave them as they are. If you come really close to the dress, you can see that they're there, but otherwise they're quite camouflaged. A couple of points to note. I think if you are going to be making the Lyra dress for the first time, and especially if you're going to be doing this button down hack, maybe don't use such a floaty viscose as what I've used here, because it was pretty difficult to work with in some places. And it's probably more difficult to do things like attach the button band neatly and put the collar in properly if you are working with such a wibbly wobbly fabric. So maybe if it is your first time, then maybe just start with like a cotton or something a little bit more stable. I forgot to mention actually that the day I did the button band, I also quickly whipped up the belt as well. I feel like this dress definitely needs the belt. It's a little bit matronly, especially with the long sleeves. I think if it's left to just be floaty and open, it looks so much better when it's brought in with the belt. So I'm going to make some belt loops for the dress as well, just to finish it off. If you fancy a really quick time-saving way, by the way, to make belt loops, I'll pop in a little reel that I've posted on Instagram here, and I'll link it down below, just sharing how I use some plastic hair ties to make some quick and easy belt loops. And I always use that method, and it's so much easier than doing any knotting or stringing or anything like that. So I will leave the video here. I hope you've really enjoyed today's high street hack. I've really enjoyed sewing this dress up. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I release sewing videos every Sunday at 8 AM. And I have plenty more high street hack videos on my channel as well. So I'll link to the playlist down below if you want to pop over and watch those too. Otherwise, take care everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you in my next video soon. Bye.